Good. Good evening. Hello. Welcome to Monday Night Talk, Facebook and YouTube Live. How are we all? Are we all well? Are we all a good Monday? Back at it after the weekend, back into the swing of things. To be honest with you, it's been quite nice and straightforward for me. I've had an easy weekend. I've had no booze. I was training all weekend, Saturday, Sunday. So it's just been a combination, really. I've been really busy. Like I've not actually stopped today. I've been flipping all sorts, which is all good, including what I've been doing, cleaning out my garage gym. What was the gym that's going to be the new office? Because hopefully at some point this week somebody's coming and we're going to turn the garage into garage stroke. What was the RLB gym? If you remember back in the day, the RLB gym, we're going to turn that into the new sort of office stroke content studio, I suppose. That's what we might call it. Right. Oh, windy pops, excuse me. Right, as always, guys, this is a weight loss live. So if you've got any questions whatsoever, anything you are struggling with, please feel free, ask away. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you. Let's do a top 5 on TikTok. Let's see who's straight. He's in at number 1. Callum's in at number 2. Carly's in at number 3. Pete's in at number 4. And Karen G is in at number 5. Good evening, guys. Thank you very much for coming on the live. All right, thank you very much for that. Who else is in this evening? Ryan, evening boss, evening mate. Emma, Ryan, I was having a look today. I'm going to message you after this, but I think really actually what you found, I don't think there's much better, if I'm being honest with you. For the dates you want to go, for the times you want to fly, I don't think there is much. Not for the money. Not for the money. If you're willing to spend a bit more money, we can find something different. But anyway, I'll message you after this. Fairy, hi. Carol, good evening. Emma, good evening. Just Rach, Eve, Sheila, Helen, good evening, good evening, good evening. Kelly C, good evening. Let me have a scan down. Have I missed anyone? I haven't missed anyone. Right, I'm all good. Yeah, so how's my Monday been? My Monday's been really good, actually. Really busy. Felt like I've not stopped, and I haven't really stopped. So I did the weight loss coaching live this morning. Not weight loss coaching live. TikTok, Facebook, YouTube live, same as what we're doing now. Did that this morning. Then I recorded my weekly weight loss vlog. Then we've been we've been to the gym. So we went to the gym. Actually, we didn't get to the gym till dinner time, actually. Blasted the gym, only 40 minutes today, struggling for time a little bit. So I blasted 40 minutes out in the gym today, which is all good. And then nipped to Aldi. Then come home, done some work, then started shipping stuff out of the gym. So we've done first phase 1. Then we've got some bigger furniture move out of there. Then we've got stuff to load into the car to do a tip run. And then that should be it, as clear as I'm going to get it, really. Phase, I need to take some pictures. So I'm going to take some pictures tomorrow so I can do some before and afters of gym into office. That's been about it. And just working on content and posting content and stuff for the group. And we've had a couple new sign-ups today. So if you've jumped on the live and you've signed up today to the plan, remember I've got an amazing January deal on at the moment. It is just £19.99 sign up to my one-to-one plan. It's $29.99 a month. And if you complete January, February and March, right, 6 check-ins, if you tick it all off, you will get your 4th month free. All right, that's what I'm offering at the moment. Come get signed up. I have got 2 spaces left for a week today. Then I'm full, and the next start date will be the 27th of January. So I've had 3 people sign up. One yesterday, 2 today. Use code New Year New Me at checkout, and you'll get that deal. Stefan's in. Hello, sorry. This morning, I like to ask Stefan, you never need to apologize. If you can make it, it's great to see you. If you can't make it, no worries at all. Ryan's in. Oh yeah, no, Ryan. We know Ryan's in. I was talking to him about holidays a minute ago. Anyway, yes, I will have a. It's something I do enjoy doing is looking at the old holidays. Absolutely. I'm not struggling. I'm trying to style it out with holidays at the moment because, yeah, next holiday is the end of April, and do you know what? We went to Benidorm in October, and it was a great little holiday. It was really, really nice, but the weather wasn't that good, and I just felt like I missed out. Didn't get the sunshine I was wanting. Right, I needed a blast of sun, so and just with the weather, I always get like the slight post Christmas kind of blues, as it were. So I'm really missing a bit of sunshine at the moment. Last week I was absolutely fine, but it's been really cold. But today's been like really dreary and a bit. Ugh. Do you know what I mean? So I just want some sunshine. Georgina over on Facebook. So I've lost 7 stone, amazing, but I struggle so much with binging now and again. Okay, Georgina's literally put, she's lost 7 stone, absolutely amazing. That's £100, right? So Georgina, absolutely fantastic. But I struggle so much with binging now and again. You don't binge now and again, right? And what I mean by that is, tell me, Georgina, what do you mean, if you're still on, what do you mean by now and again, right? Every now and then, we're going to have little splurges with calories. There's nothing wrong with that, right? So don't try and create a problem in your mind if there isn't one. So if you once a month go and have, like, for whatever reason, a splurge on calories, right? That's not binging. That's just having, it's, I mean, technically you might class it as that, but it's not an issue, right? And then, why are you having that splurge once? And is it a crazy splurge? Is it, are you, it's amazing you've lost 7 stone, Georgine, but how are you doing it? How have you lost that weight? Are you over restricting yourself? A lot of people say to me, how do you combat cravings? This is how I combated my cravings, right? I ate the foods I enjoyed eating. The foods that I would normally crave. How can you crave something if you eat it? You don't, do you? Right? And people might be like, well, if I have one little bit, I can't stop. All right, well, we might need to work on a bit of self-control, and we might need to, but, at the end of the day, throughout my weight loss journey, I never really craved. The first probably 12 months of my weight loss journey, I was a bit over-restrictive. I load my hands up, but I learned from it. And by learning from it, I made my diet more sustainable. I allowed a few more foods into my diet. Now, I absolutely love crisps, right? I love crisps, and we normally have some in the evening as our bedtime snack, along with maybe a bit of fruit and half a protein bar. Rachel's not having any tonight. She said, I don't bring crisps to bed because I've not got the calories for it, so don't bring it to bed. So I'm like, fine. So I've just had 20 grams now. Just had 20 grams before I jumped on this live because I know I fancy some, right? I'm like, I fancy some crisps tonight. So I've had some. I've weighed them out. I've had 20 grams of crisps. How can I crave crisps? And I love crisps, right? Now, if I hadn't had 20 grams tonight, right, I would have found tomorrow. If you're not having it tomorrow, my cravings would have ramped up. My cravings don't ramp up because, excuse me, because I'm eating the foods I enjoy eating. If I fancy some crisps, I'll have some crisps. I build it into my calories. If I fancy a bit of chocolate, I'll have a bit of chocolate. I'll build it into my calories. Now, every now do I have a day a month where I might go a little bit rad with calories? Do I have, a day every 6 weeks where even though it's not built in, it's not planned in, my calories just run away with me? Yeah, I do. It's natural. People do that whether they're overweight or not. You just have that one day. It's the same as, do you have one day every 6 weeks, maybe 2 months where you just go out shopping and you spend a bit more than you expected to? Yeah, it happens. But I think sometimes we just, we put so much pressure on ourselves to be perfect on our journey. We're just like, we try and create this absolutely perfect weight loss journey. There's no such thing as one. So don't demonize yourself or think you've got a problem when you haven't actually got one. I used to have no self-control, and I'm night and day because I know if I want some, I can. Yeah, and I think, do you know what? Again, part of helping with cravings is enjoying some of the foods you love, right? That helps with cravings. I also think if you have in your mind that, do you know what? If I want some chocolate, I can have some. It's that kind of like plain hard to get scenario. You know, you might have someone that, when you were younger, you were fancying someone and you were chasing them, like, I don't mean like in a weird way. I mean like, you were messaging them or you were chatting to them, but they were playing hard to get. And the harder they played, the more you wanted them. And that's kind of, if you're saying to yourself, I'm never ever going to eat chocolate, right? The fact that you can't have it makes you want it more. But if you're literally sat there going, do you know what, if I want some chocolate, I can have some chocolate. That also helps with it. So Georgina's put, it's hard to explain. I think I need to work on self-control. I found it hard at the beginning because I really did restrict myself. But now I'm trying to enjoy food and not look at it as a treat. You can look at it as a treat. You can, right? And I'll tell you why shortly. But sometimes I go on a mad eating session and then beat myself up for days. I guess I don't really know what I'm asking. No, I get what you're saying. And I think I get it because, like I say, Georgina, I think you kind of explained it there. So you found it hard at the beginning you've gone through a period of over restricting yourself on your journey, right? But now you're trying to enjoy food and not look at it as a treat. Well, food is a treat at times, right? Just like, for example, I'm trying to find some examples. Sometimes, most of the time I wear clothes that are value for money in a way. So, like, for example, I've got this North Face fleece on now, right? I bought this at an outlet store in Vegas. It was 24 quid, right? This hoodie I've got on now, it is an Adidas hoodie, but I got this on ASOS sale about 2 years ago for 20 quid. Should have been £70. I got it for 20 quid. Absolute bargain. But every now and then, I will wear a hoodie that's 80 quid, 90 quid. I've got a couple of hoodies that are 150 quid, right? And it's like, those are a treat. Most of the time I wear clothes that are, I wear an RLB cap all week that costs me like 12 quid, 10 quid or something like that. Where sometimes at the weekend I'll wear, I don't know, I've got a few different designer caps that are 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 quid, right? And they're treats. So there's nothing wrong with seeing certain foods as a treat. Foods that you wouldn't have on a regular basis, that you might have once a week, maybe twice a week, something like that. There's nothing wrong with seeing certain foods. That's a treat food. That's something I have all the time. So like I say, this is kind of, if you want to look at it, I can't find any examples because I've got no, right, here's a prime example. Right, here's a good example. So, have I got another beanie up there? I haven't. Right. So, I've had this. This is a Canada Goose beanie, right? It's absolutely red hot. I could wear it to the flipping Antarctic if I wanted to. I actually got this. I don't know if it was a mistake or what, because these are like over £200. I paid 95 quid for this off Flannels, right? But it's still an expensive beanie. So most of the time, like today I've been out walking and I put a North Face beanie on that was 18 quid. I think I got it on sale of 15 quid. Whereas sometimes if I'm going to the beach and it's really cold, I'll put this beanie on. This is a treat. Right? This is a treat beanie. Whereas my North Face that I wear all the time and I'll chuck it and I don't care if it gets covered in sand is it is my everyday beanie. Right, so the North Face beanie that I wear all the time and I chuck it here, there and everywhere, I don't care if it gets covered in mud or sand or anything like that. That's like strawberries, blueberries, chicken breast, Greek yogurt, eggs, rice, broccoli, spuds, right? This beanie's me fish and chips. Right, this is me fish and chips and me Chinese and me pizza. Right? Does that kind of make sense? So there's nothing wrong with looking at certain foods as a treat, right? But I think what you've done here, Georgina, is I think you've I think I think what you've done is you've lost an amazing amount of weight, but you've still got an unhealthy relationship with food, and it's just something you need to work on. Right, and we need to understand, going a bit rad with calories every few weeks or is fine. Now again, I don't know how you're losing your weight. If you're someone now, Georgina, losing your weight, you're trying to stick to 1,200 calories a day or 1,500 calories a day. That is going to cause overeating. My hubby's got the same hat, all for a bag. I don't believe in it. Do you know what? Certain things, yes. Certain things, no. This stuff is unbelievably good. Right? It's absolutely unbelievable quality. The quality of this compared to other beanies that I've got, it's too hot. It is too hot. That's why I don't actually wear it often. Because unless it's like it's been last week, which is hardly ever, it is too hot. You know, same with this. I've got this fleece in another colour, right? And the stitching come undone on this bottom bit here, and it all unravelled along here. North Face, 2-year, no quibble warranty. Emailed them, they sent me a free label, stuck it in a bag, sent it off. 2 weeks later, it come back all stitched, brand new, right? This has a lifetime guarantee. So if the stitching ever comes unravelled on this beanie in 10 years' time, you can send it off and they will either fix it, and if they can't repair it, they will send you a brand new one, right? So certain things, yeah, I don't believe in paying for labels. Certain things are absolutely, you get what you pay for. You know, it's like anything, isn't it? Certain things yes, certain things no. Anyway, right, let me scan that. Does that make sense with your eating? Shelley, January's birthday month for me. Yeah, it can happen. You know, it is one of them where, you know, we go into after a period after indulgence of Christmas, and we want to do dry January, and we want to do a few of the bits and pieces, but it can be birthday month. It can be, you know, I do not blame anyone in January for going on holiday, right? And we've said it next year. We're not going to go in January because it's really expensive. But I've looked, can fly to Tenerife for the first week of February, £66 return, 66 quid return, right? And I said to Rach, I said, we're not going to do it this year, but next year, let's book Tenerife for the first week of February or something like that, if it's that sort of price again. We're a few nights away and enjoy our birthdays. I was stressed in the past about it. I'm really going to try and not do that this year. It's a massive retrain of the brain, 100% Shelley, because, you know, at the end of the day, if it's just the way it is in January, you know, it's a busy month, get to it in February. It is what it is. And we have got to stop stressing about it. You've still got to have that balance of enjoying life while still losing weight. And this is where a lot of people go wrong with the journey. They're very, you know, very cut and shut. You know, I either live my life so I don't care about weight loss, or I just do weight loss where I don't care about my life. And if you have that, you're never gonna have a successful weight loss journey. Does that make sense? I went Benidorm in January last year. Laugh out loud. Not boiling, but miles better than the weather here. Callum, absolutely, mate. It's been 28 degrees there this week in Benidorm this week. It's been 28 degrees, you know. It's miles better. I've been to Benidorm in January and February before on stag do's and stuff like that. And during the day, if the sun's out, it's early 20s. Early 20s. So I sat there. It's cold at night. Like, you need to go out in a fleece or a hoodie at night time. I still wore shorts and stuff at night time. I miss some nice weather. I really, really do. And those rice cakes came. They are so nice, aren't they? Rachel's talking about the Drizzlicious rice cakes up here. I saw them all over TikTok. I didn't believe the hype. They're expensive because they're imported from America, right? They're not a British brand. They're an American brand. They're not cheap with delivery. They work out about £5 a packet, right? I'm surprised they don't sell them in like Costco or something like that. But they are absolutely superb. There is 5 portions in each bag, right? So really, it's £1 a portion, which, when you break it down, isn't ridiculous. You know, I had today some Surreal cereal, which is up there, and it's something I am a promoter of. I love cereal, and the Surreal cereal, it's high protein, high fiber, low sugar. It's fantastic. It is. I'm not saying it's the healthiest thing in the world for breakfast, but it's certainly much healthier than, if you fancy cereal, it's definitely healthier than having Frosties or Crunchy Nut cornflakes. I'm not saying you can't have those every now and then, but if you fancy cereal, you know, I fancied cereal this morning and I had some Surreal cereal. But a guy commented today saying, whoa, that's way too expensive for me. I'll stick to me Greek yogurt with whey protein powder and berries. And I went, I said, I know it's not cheap. But it's the same price as the breakfast you've just described. And then he was like, what do you mean? I said, well, tell me the portion size. He said, well, I have 200 grams of 0% fat Greek yogurt. I have a scoop of whey protein powder, and I have 100 grams of frozen berries. And I said, well, I have a double portion of it is £2, right? And then I have my fruit in it. So it's £2.60 it is. So Surreal cereal, I have 80 grams of it with me fruit, with me milk, is £2.60 a bowl. Right, now compare that to Frosties, or Weetabix or anything like that, it's expensive. But if you compare it to other high protein breakfasts, so he has 200 grams of 0% fat Greek yogurt. That's £1. Right? He then has a scoop of 30 grams of whey protein powder. That's another £1. So that's £2 there. Right? And then he has 100 grams of frozen fruit. That's 50p. So I said, well, your breakfast is £2.50. So don't get me wrong, I know to shell out 24 quid on 4 boxes of cereal seems like a lot of money. It is. I'm not saying it's not, but it's the same price as what you're eating there. And he didn't message me back. He didn't message me back. But it is expensive, and unfortunately, high protein products are expensive, whether it's just because they're expensive to make or whether it's just they do it because it's really popular at the moment. But yeah, they tend to be, a bit more money. I'm struggling. I'm hardly getting 1,000 calories. I'm just never hungry. I prioritize protein. I can't get below 155. All right. So you're currently 155 pounds. So you're just over 11 stone. And you prioritize protein, and you're hardly getting 1,000 calories. How much do you move? I have no idea. Asusena? I have no idea if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I was going to say, how do you pronounce your name? I can't tell you, Neil. Why? Because we're just on TikTok. I got 3 months supply of protein bars of the day because it was on special offer. Yeah, if it's just on offer, it's well worth it. It really, really is. I've done 30,000 steps today, so happy myself. Brilliant, James. Busy day at work. Steps on the scales are now 14.3 from 13.2. Just been on a 5K, the first one for 4 months. Yeah, sometimes we need a little bit of what I call a kick up the bottom. Now, don't get me wrong. If you've gone from 14.3 to 13.2 from Christmas, don't panic. A lot of that gain will be excess water weight, excess water retention, excess food weight, and it will soon go once you get back to your journey. So far, stay within my calories, decent protein, fibre, and fruit and veg. Well, please. Lovely to hear, Paul, there. First week being in a calorie deficit, lost £5. I can't believe it. It definitely works. Yes, Megan, it does. Now, Megan, I don't want to do this to you, but I've got to do it to keep your mentality positive going forward. All right? You've lost £5, amazing, but you've not lost £5 because you're in a calorie deficit. All right, because calorie deficit works, of course it does. I think what you're trying to say is first week maybe calorie counting. Calorie deficit isn't a diet. If you do Slimming World and you lose weight, it's because you're in a calorie deficit. Same with keto, intermittent fasting. People that are losing weight now on Mounjaro is because they're in a calorie deficit. It's just how we describe consuming less calories than we burn, right? But if you lose £5 in a week, you've not lost £5 of body fat. Why? To lose £5 of body fat, you would have to be in a 17,500 calorie deficit. A lot of people don't even burn 17,500 calories in a week. So when we start a weight loss journey, whether it is Slimming World, keto, just calorie counting to a certain amount of calories, we are always going to lose first week, maybe 2 weeks, water weight, food weight, and water retention, as well as body fat because we're in a calorie deficit. And why I'm telling you this is a lot of people, they'll start tracking an amount of calories. They might be eating, 1,500 calories a day. First week, they lose £5, and they're doing exactly what Megan has said there. Yes, I've lost 5, and you have lost £5, Megan, by the way. No one can take that away from you. Weight loss is weight loss, whether it's from water retention, food weight. It is coming out of your body. You will feel lighter on your feet. You go pick up £5. It's quite heavy. You'll feel lighter on your feet. You'll feel better. You'll feel a little bit flatter. But why I want to educate people is because your weight loss will slow down. If you're consistent with your journey, you've only got so much excess food weight, water retention in the body. Once that's gone, you then just go down to losing body fat, right? And when you get down to losing body fat, you'll go from £5 weight loss a week to just 1, maybe 2, depending on what deficit you're in. So yes, it works. You've lost £5. Great. You might lose £3 or £4 next week. After that, if you stay consistent, the weight loss will slow down. And why I want to educate people on that is because a lot of people, they get 5, 6, 7 weeks in and they start losing £1 a week. And they're like, I've done nothing. Week 1, I lost £5. Week 6, I've lost £1 and I've done nothing different. I've done this. I've eaten the same foods. I've tracked the same. I've eaten the same calories. Why am I not losing £5 anymore? and it's because you get a whoosh at the start of the journey, right? And this is where a lot of people. So that's why I'm saying it. All right. So just you've done fantastic. Just don't expect it to keep kicking in. I try to get 3 to 4 days in minutes, but it doesn't always happen. I'm moving all day. I chase 2 kids around, but I don't always have time to strictly out. If you give me your average step count, right? And then I'm going to give you some information which you might not like, but I'm going to give it you. What's your advice? This is on YouTube. What is your advice drinking the little tasty food in a bottle? I don't know what it is. If it's a complete meal in a bottle, they're not for me. Right, they're not for me. Now, don't get me wrong, the means to an end at times, but I don't see, I really don't see, I really don't see the point in them, as it were. So what a complete meal in a bottle is, basically, it's meant to give you a balance of proteins, fats, and carbs, which you would get in a complete meal, along with lots of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. So it's basically, it's like what you drink on a space station when you've not got much room. Why I don't like them is I don't like what we call meal replacement shakes, because then a lot of people think they can't just eat a meal, just eat. Don't get me wrong. I know I jump on the bandwagon of, right, so yes, a complete meal of 500 calories. Why don't you just eat a ready meal that's 500? If you're going to go and buy something in a bottle for 500 calories, because for me, there's just a level of, maybe grabbing a shake in the morning or something like that. Some people have a little protein shake in the morning as part of the breakfast. And I don't want to jump on, where people go, just eat proper food. And it's nothing to do with the fact that shake might not have all the essential vitamins, minerals, and nutrients the body needs in one meal. But I just don't like the mentality around them. A lot of people get on this, right, so for me to lose weight, I can't eat meals. I need to eat meal replacements. It just creates a very unhealthy relationship with things. It just does. And the thing is, if you're studying Lidl, right, Lidl have got 1,000,001 different ready meals where you actually, and then there's this other element. Do they really taste any good? Do you enjoy eating them? Now, listen, if you're someone that's had bariatric surgery, for instance, right, and you've literally, right, you can't get anything, then you are given like shakes that are complete meals, basically. They've got some protein, some fiber, maybe some carbs in there. Obviously, they'll have some carbs in there if they've got fiber in there, but I mean, they'll have protein, some fats in there, they'll have vitamins, minerals, nutrients, everything, all in like a 250 calorie shake, because you can't eat volumes of food, especially for the first few weeks while your stomach's healing. Likewise, if you're someone that's, when I was a kid, I had braces. Right? I used to have braces, and every 6 weeks I used to go and get my braces tightened. And for 3, 4, 5 days after having my braces tightened, I couldn't chew anything. So I lived off soup or ravioli, right? In them days, they didn't have complete meals. Now, would I go and get a bottle of Huel maybe because my mouth's so I can't chew? Likewise, if I've got a throat infection or really bad tonsillitis and I can't swallow properly, is something like a complete meal in a shake that's easy to swallow something that could be an option? Absolutely could be. So, but what I don't like about them is I just don't like the association, this meal replacement association. If you want to have a shake for your breakfast, a protein shake, have a protein shake for your breakfast, but you don't need to call it a meal replacement. You either have a shake or you have some Weetabix or you have some porridge or you have a bit of yogurt or a bacon butty. Does that kind of make sense? Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I just don't like the association with them, what they sort of stand for, if that makes sense. I'm not saying they're unhealthy. I'm not saying they're not healthy. I'm not saying they're not an option for someone, But yeah, I'm just not a massive fan of what they are. Right? If you enjoy taking them, if you think they're sustainable as to have as a lunch every now and then, that's down to you. It's just my own personal opinion. Does that make sense? Right, protein shakes are great for me on mornings when I don't get time to make anything. Complete meals remind me of my food disorder. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, Paula. I think it's very ED. I think all these like shake diets and stuff like that, I think it's very disordered eating. Don't get me wrong, if you've got a healthy relationship with food and you're just like, you know what, I don't really fancy anything, I'm not that hungry, but I know I need to eat because I'll be starving in a couple of hours and I've got meetings back to back all afternoon. And you go and grab one and you see it for what it is rather than thinking this is something we should be having for weight loss. Does that kind of make sense? I tried a meal replacement before. I wanted something to eat an hour later. Yeah, I don't think. And again, I think there's something kind of unsatisfying about having a shake. I think psychologically it doesn't fill you up, and being full can be a psychological thing. It really, really can. So yeah, I'm just they're not. You don't need to see. You can have 500 calories. I just showed today on, and it's not got the most protein or anything in it, but Lidl do this katsu sushi thing. You get a piece of katsu chicken, little pot of katsu curry sauce, and then you get about 8 or 10 pieces of sushi. 485 calories. Go and eat that. You've got protein, you've got carbs, you've got a little bit of fat in there, and it tasted delicious. Right? And it was like, I'm having katsu chicken sushi. Absolutely love that. I'm definitely having that again. The plain kefir yogurts are lovely and great for a snack when on the go. Absolutely, yeah, definitely. Any sort of high protein, protein's filling. That's why we have it for a weight loss journey. And there's lots of options out there, different high protein yogurts, kefir yogurts. The kefir is they're like good for gut health. All yogurt's good for gut health. Again, it's a buzzword, all this gut health stuff, I made some egg and chicken sausage protein thins for breakfast tomorrow. That sounds delicious, Rachel. Would you recommend taking creatine and vitamins if you go to the gym? Look, whether you go to the gym or not, sometimes it's worth taking a multivit. It all depends on how good your diet is or how balanced your diet is. If you're someone that, if I look at me today, I've had cereal for my breakfast. I've had milk with that. I had blueberries and raspberries on it. My lunch today was a protein. I was going to review it, but I was too hungry, and it was 2:00 when we got back to it. But I got one of the protein ready meals from Morrison's last week. I've done the red Thai curry one. I have reviewed that for this week's Worth the Calories video. I had the Singapore noodles one today. Delicious, big chunks of fresh sort of pak choy and pepper in there. Really good quality chicken breast. It was absolutely lovely. So I've got some veggies in there, got noodles, got chicken. I didn't have an afternoon snack. My tea tonight, I've had like a healthier breakfast, chicken sausage, mushrooms, beans, eggs. And then snack tonight, I'm going to have a whole apple. I'm going to have 75 grams of strawberries. And I'm going to have half a protein bar. I've got loads of vitamins. I will have, cereal's fortified. It's got extra iron, lots of vitamins and minerals in that. I've had my 5-a-day fruits, veggies, all those bits and pieces. I've had loads of fiber, loads of protein, eggs, which are one of the most nutrient dense foods. I've had 2 of them today. So, I've got all my vitamins and minerals today in my eating. But is it worth taking a multivit just to top that up? It is. Yeah, probably. I don't take multivits because I do have a pretty decent varied diet. But it's, is it worth taking a multivit if you don't? Yeah, absolutely. Now, in terms of creatine is an amino acid. We have a gram of it every day in our body. And it is really, if you supplement 5 grams a day of it, it does help in the gym. But when I say, helping, I had a guy ask me in the gym, actually, he was asking me about it. He said, I'm thinking of getting on the creatine. I was like, why are you whispering? He said, it's creatine, isn't it? I was like, mate, it's an amino acid that's in red meat. I was like, it's not a drug. And he was like, all right, well, what is it then? I said, it's in red meat. I said, we have a gram a day in our body. If you have 5 grams a day, and he was doing 30 kilo shoulder presses. And I said, how many of them are you getting out? He went 10. Right, so I can do 10 first set quite easily. Second set is a little bit tougher. Third set, I'm knackered. Right, I said, well, if you start supplementing creatine in 2 weeks' time, you'll be able to do 11 instead of 10. He said, is that it? I said, yeah, but I said it's still 11 instead of 10. If you can do one extra, if you're doing, 100 sets when you're doing your training in the gym, that's an extra 100 reps if you're taking creatine. If you're coming to the gym 4 times a week, that's 400 reps a week more than you would be doing for the sake of £6-7 a month. Is that not worth doing? And he was like, oh yeah, okay. But he thought it was something that was going to, if you're just starting out in the gym, right, and you're fairly inexperienced, there's no need to do it, right? if you're fairly experienced in the gym and you just feel like you need an extra boost, or you're going into maybe a phase where you want to try and get a bit stronger, it's probably worth taking. It's not, certainly for what it costs. Does that make sense? Right, let me scan down. I had my protein burrito bowl meal at the weekend. It was really tasty, better than KFC. Do you know what? They've got loads of new My Protein dishes here. I was in Food Warehouse on Saturday, topping up the old cans. We're on Pepsi Max caffeine free tonight, prioritizing sleep. So don't get me wrong, Pepsi has about 30 to 40 milligrams of caffeine in it. For me personally, I have an energy drink every day, so I'm kind of quite smaller amounts of caffeine like that. It doesn't really affect my sleep patterns, but I've got some caffeine-free ones today. Not been that great for days, really. Badly constipation. Not been for about 10 days. Will it affect my weight on Friday? Could do, Kelly, but you just need to let me know when you're checking in. So when my one-to-one clients check in with me, every 2 weeks, right? And when you're checking in with me, let me know how it's been going. You know, some of my clients do just send the weight over, or a few of the bits and pieces, but the more information you can give me, the more help I can give you. So if you are, if you've gone through, you might feel that you're bloated, you might feel that you're constipated, you might feel that, let me know. Will it affect the scales? I don't know. It could do. If you're eating and you're not going to the toilet, the bigger concern is, why have you not been to the toilet for 10 days? That is the bigger concern, right? Because if I've not been to the toilet for 3 or 4 days, straight away, I'd be going for some sort of, soft laxative to try and help. If you're still not going, doctors, get to the doctors if you've not been, not to go to the toilet for 10 days, especially if you're eating on a regular basis, yeah? Sometimes it could just be a case of, have you come back after Christmas and really hit the fibre hard, and really, that fibre is great for bowel movements, right? It's very, very good for bowel movements, but if you go straight in from having quite an unhealthy Christmas straight into having 30, 40 grams of fibre a day, that can back you up. Yeah. So, right, let me scan down. Sometimes I feel I just keep waffling in the check-in messages, but that's no, waffle's good. Right, waffles are really good. I love waffles. No, don't feel like that, Callum. Like I say, the more information you give me, right, the more I can give you. I have Peter. I don't know if he's on the live. Sometimes he nips on the lives. He started literally writing a journal, on a dated, in his notes on his phone, right? And he literally sends me not quite a 2-week journal, but he literally, 6th of January or whatever, blah, 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 blah. And he writes little notes throughout the 2 weeks, and then he sends that over to me. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, it takes me a few minutes to go through it, but it's giving me a real insight because I'm an online coach. I'm not with you on a day-to-day basis. We don't talk one-to-one, right? We message, and you can message me whenever you want to, and you can come on here and, if anyone on my one-to-one plan wants to talk to me, of course, I do a Zoom session every week. You can come onto that Zoom session. And I know some of you might be a little bit nervous about coming on Zoom, or you don't need to be. Everyone knows everyone. You interact with each other, right? So you can interact with me. And if you want a private conversation with me, you can do it through text message. You can drop me a voice note. Hi, Neil. Just need to get this off my chest. If you've got any advice, I might voice note you back if I'm driving or something like that. So, no, waffling's good. The more info you give me, the more help I give you. So put as much detail as you want. Hi, Neil, just signed up today. Helen, you did. I've looked into so much research to the extent I'm scared to eat carbs, almost carnivore. Why? Right, why are you scared to eat carbs, Helen? Tell me. And you said, I've looked into so much research. So you haven't looked at, but you've not looked into healthy, peer-reviewed research. Why would anyone be scared to eat carbohydrates? Carbohydrates have been around for thousands of years, right? Thousands of years, right? Yet having a weight issue has been an issue, 30, 40 years in the UK? So why would we ever blame something that's been around for thousands of years for something that's affected us for 20, 30 years? Maybe 40 at a push. This is we need to sometimes have a bit of a rationale about our mindset. Sometimes we need to just sit back, you know. It's funny, isn't it? The most popular weight loss method in the UK is Slimming World, and you can eat as many carbs as you want. The most popular weight loss method in the United States is the ketogenic diet, where carbs are the absolute enemy and you can't touch them. What do we believe, right? And there's so much nonsense out there that this is where unhealthy relationships are forged, because, you know, a lot of people, you know, I'll post a protein pizza and it is like I've posted, you know, I'm telling people to eat cyanide. I'm not telling anyone to eat anything. I'm just going around shops and new bits and pieces. And as a weight loss coach, if my clients are like, I really fancy a pizza tonight, and I'm like, right, and what's your options? Well, I'm going to go and have a 2,000 calorie Domino's, right? Okay. Why? Because I'm craving a pizza. All right. Well, why don't you try this? I am not saying by any means it is a Domino's, right? But it's pretty decent. It's under 600 calories. It's not a bad size. And it's got a decent amount of protein in. So although it's not massive, it will fill you up, right? It will. And this is where a lot of people struggle. They struggle with context. They struggle with understanding of why I might post chicken sausage, why I might post a lower calorie ice cream, because they don't understand who I am as a coach either, who my target audience is, right? So it's, but you know, why? What research have you been looking into? Because the only thing that would ever scare you to eat something is if it was going to kill you, right? That in my eyes, even, you know, or is it the fact that you're so scared you think carbs make you fat, or you can't? Because carbohydrates are like beans, pulses, oats, rice, right? Broccoli, cauliflower, you know, apples, oranges, strawberries, blueberries. Like, why would we be scared to eat those, right? Now, don't get me wrong, carbs also cover systematic reviews. Yeah, the only reviews you should be reading, right, they should have a PMID number, right? So they should be non-biased human trials, right? Controlled studies. That's the only bit of research we should be reading, right? That is it, right? And we should only be reading that research if we are able ourselves to understand the findings, right? You know, to understand the findings, because a lot of people don't. You know, a lot of people come my post. Well, you post the research. I'll post the research. I'll send you the PMID. A lot of PMID systematic reviews, you know, that are non-biased. Right, these questions, by the way, come on my computer to see them. You know, these are written by medical people, or written by scientists, or written by medical scientists, or medical nutritionalists. And sometimes I struggle to understand all the data. And I tend to not. What I tend to do is if I read a PMID off PubMed, right, I'll read the results and the conclusion. So I'll read what the research is about, and I'll read the results and the conclusion, because they're done in layman's terms that most people, if you try and read through the whole study, it will blow your mind, right? It will blow your mind. But there's absolutely, yeah, there's no data anywhere to sort of to say that. So, Helen, my question to you is: what have you been reading? What have you been reading to make you scared, or is it just that you're just getting wrapped up in, you know, a lot of the nonsense? If it sort of says Harvard professor has found this, it's nonsense. It's absolutely nonsense, right? You get a lot of it's been scientifically proven nonsense. It's all garbage. People can come out with anything, you know. Is 6 months a realistic time frame to lose 2 stone? Perfect, Alicia. Elisa. Is it Ailsa? Ailsa Eaton? Alicia? No, definitely not Alicia. Ailsa. I'm going to go with Ailsa. Is 6 months perfect? Absolutely perfect. So this is a pound of body fat. And to lose 2 stone of body fat, 28 of these, right? And most people, irrelevant of size, can healthily lose one of these a month. a week, sorry. The lighter you are, the harder it is. So if you're currently 11 stone, to lose one of these a week is tougher than someone that is 20 stone, but it can be done, right? Someone that's 11 stone, they want to lose one of these a week, they're going to have to do quite a bit of movement. You have to be very on it with their calories, right? Someone that's 20 stone, you have to do a decent amount of movement. You are going to have to be on it with your calories, but you've got a bit more margin for error because you burn a lot more calories than someone that's 11 stone. All right. Calorie burn is always relative to movement as well. But still, I don't know many, someone that's 20 stone that does 4,000 steps a day will burn more calories than someone that's 11 stone that does 10 to 15,000 steps a day, just because they're moving more weight. Right. So you want to lose 28 of these. 6 months is 26 weeks. So really, you lose 26 pounds in 6 months, but you can push that to 28. You just have to, a couple of weeks out of that 6, you need to be really on it. Yeah, so 6 months, and that's what I coach. My healthy, sustainable weight loss to me is a stone. So 14 of these every 3 months. So after 3 months, lose a stone. After 6 months, lose 2 stone. After 9 months, lose 3 stone. After 12 months, 4 stone. 4 stone in a year. Yeah. Right, let me scan down. I know I'm waffling like mad. I'll try and get through some questions. Mark saying, good evening, May. Tips for sweet cravings. Yes, eat what you are craving. First tip, right? First tip, if you're trying to conquer sweet or keep your sweet cravings under control, number one, whatever you crave, make sure you are building it into your regular diet, because if you are eating it on a regular basis, you don't need to crave it. Number two, sugar-free drinks. Sugar-free drinks are absolutely amazing for sweet cravings. I always crave something sweet this time of night time, right? This time of night. Right? I always crave something a bit sweet, and I find whacking one of these down my gullet, brilliant, right? So combined with that, when I finish this, I'm also going to have a really nice protein bar, which a good protein bar. When I say really nice protein bar, I mean a good one. I'm going to have a salted caramel chocolate chip, right, from Grenade. So yeah, those are my 2 biggest tips really for sweet cravings. Those are my 2 biggest tips really. Yeah, make sure you're trying to build in. And certain days, this is why I always get my clients, a little bit less during the week, a little bit more calories at the weekend, right? Food flexibility and freedom. And then at the weekend, you can go a little bit wild, right? Like this weekend, did I go a little bit wild? Well, Saturday, I had a nice bit. I had fish chips and peas and a nice bit of chocolate. Sunday, although it was with lower calorie ice cream, I had a big ice cream dessert Sunday as well. I had a few more calories at the weekend. That'll do me then. Right, I'm now quite happy controlling my calories Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Get to this weekend and I'll have another little splurge, but it's all within my calories. Yeah. Right. Let me scan down, see what I'm missing. I don't think I'm missing too much, really. There's a lot of chitty chat that's going on. I get tempted to voice note sometimes because it would be so much easier for my brain. Yeah, absolutely, guys. If you want a voice note when you're checking in, that's absolutely fine. The only thing that you need to know is if you're going to voice note me, you might not get done in order. And I'll tell you why that is. Sometimes it's a bit harder for me to listen to a voice note than it is to read a message for it to sink in. So sometimes I do have a couple of clients that voice note me. They send me all their check-in information, but then the little bit of blurb that they want to put at the end of it, they'll voice note me. Hi, Neil, just let you know, this is how my week's gone, blah, blah. That's absolutely fine. But I kind of get in, and I think it's my own head, I get into the zone a little bit. Very similar to when we do the Boss Your Weight Loss Challenge. When I'm doing check-ins, right, and I'm doing the challenge, so I get challenge check-ins and standard check-ins, right? I can't do a challenge check-in, then a standard check-in, then a challenge check-in, then a standard check-in. So what I do is I tend to whip through standard check-ins and then wait till there's 5 or 6 challenge check-ins waiting. Then I'll do and then I'll do them in a row. So when I get people that voice note me, I'll do the voice note check-ins in a group, right? So I'll do standard check-ins in a group, and so on and so forth. I don't get loads of voice note check-ins, to be honest with you. Have you tried the Aldi ramen pots yet? Do you know what? I haven't. And I'll tell you why. And I know they've been out a bit and people are waiting for the reviews of them. Because they're frozen, right? They've kind of gone to the back of the queue. So I bought a lot of fresh ready meals recently to review for you guys. Why ready meals? What is the thing with ready meals? Am I telling people to live off ready meals? No. But again, context with my target audience. A lot of people jump to convenience foods because they can't be bothered cooking. They can't cook, right? Can't cook, won't cook sort of scenario. Struggle for time, right? And there's a few different reasons. And for that reason, struggling to get into a routine, struggling to create new habits. And for that reason, it's very easy to just jump to takeaways. I'm not saying takeaways need to be stupidly calorific, but when we jump to them for convenience, they tend to be. So a ready meal, it kind of takes the thought out of it, right? You can scan the barcode to track the meal, right? I always try and promote or show higher protein meals, lower calorie, which are going to be more filling because ready meals tend to be good portion control, but sometimes we're not used to eating smaller portions. So if it's got a decent amount of protein and fiber in there, it's going to fill us up. And yeah, it just takes that temptation away, you know. So it's where we've got. Oh yeah, so yeah, I have bought a lot of it, and there's a lot come out at the moment. And yes, some have protein plaster on them, some of them don't. And yeah, it's just a good option. It's just a good option because I live in the real world. A lot of people on social media don't live in the real world. You know, a lot of people are like, just make your own pizza. It's so lazy to buy a box pizza when you can just mix Greek yogurt and flour and and then add your own toppings and just put your chicken and make it way more. Of course you can. Right? I said this to a lad the other day that commented that, and I said, is it lazy to have an Aldi protein pizza if you've just finished a 12-hour, let's do the scenario. You're doing a 12-hour shift as an A&E nurse or doctor, right? You're in at 7, you're on till 7, right? It's a manic shift. You don't get a break, right? It's a half-hour commute into work. It's a half-hour commute home. You've got to get up in the morning. So you're up at 5:30, right? Getting ready for work, doing some bits and pieces. You leave the house at 6:30. You drive to work for 7. You do a 7-hour shift in A&E, running around. You've done 15,000 steps, right? You jump in your car at 7 o'clock. You get home. You pull in your drive at 7:30 at night time. You've still got to iron the kids' uniforms, right? Your partner, your kids have all had their tea. That's fine, but your partner's out, they work nights, so they're off at 10 o'clock. So you still got to iron the kids' uniforms and do the packed lunches for tomorrow, right? The last thing you want to do when you walk in is get your Greek yogurt out and get your flour out. Now, look, if you're, and I looked at this lad that commented it, he looked in his early 20s, probably still lives with mum and dad, probably at uni, or if he's got a full-time job, it might be a 9 to 5 full-time job with no commitments, great option for you, mate. Right, but after working a 12-hour shift, commuting either way, and somebody like, well, how often is that scenario? It's actually quite a popular scenario, right? It really, really is. Sometimes, when I was a personal trainer, I'd get into I'd be up at 5:30, right? I'd leave the house at just after 6. I'd get into the gym for 6:20. First client's in at 6:30. 6 sessions, back to back, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, whatever, right? Back to back. I'd then get 2 hours, so I'd go and train myself. Then I'd eat my lunch, right? Then I might try and catch up on a few messages and that. Next thing, 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock clients in. So I've got 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. I finish at 8. I've done 10, 11 PT sessions, 2-hour break in the afternoon. The last thing I want to do when I come home from work is then go and make a meal for 45 minutes. Right? I certainly don't want to be kneading flour and Greek yogurt together and do that. Now, how often did I do shifts like that in the gym? Twice a week. I did 2 long days and then just mornings. But on my 2 long days, I always have meal prep in the fridge ready to go. So I used to meal prep on a Sunday, and I'd always have get home, spag bol, curry, ping it in the microwave, eat it. But if you can't be bothered doing that, then having a ready meal there or something like that is a great option. Yeah, it really is a great option. Paul's in. evening, mate. Hope you're still on. Hope you're all good. Merry Christmas and all that. Been prepared for a long message off me Friday, not in a bad way though. All right, okay, Danny. We don't mind the long messages. Honestly, we don't. This Friday, you guys are gonna have to be patient with me on Friday. I'm not dreading it, but I am. Right, and what I mean by that is, I've got about 100 and I've got 165 active clients at the moment. Now, at any one time, I'll be honest with you, about 25% of my clients don't check in. So they've gone a little bit AWOL, they're on holiday, whatever, right? So only about 75 at any one time, 75% of my clients are checking in. 25% checked in on Friday. It was quite a chilled one. It was quite nice because I'm getting back into the routine of it. That means on Friday, I am expecting around 70 or 80 check-ins to hit my WhatsApp. So if my head's down, I can do 8 an hour, depending on how deep the check-ins are. Some check-ins take me a minute or two. Some check-ins take me 5-10 minutes. Some might be a little bit longer than that, depending on if people are having issues or what's going on. But on average, I can do about 8 an hour. So if I get 80 in, it's going to take me 10 hours of work. And I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do a few bits and pieces. So I am going to put this in the reminder. And I'll work all day Friday. If you check in on Friday, I try and get your check-in done on Friday. But yeah, I'm just going to ask for a little bit of patience on Friday because I know it's going to be carnage. It's going to be carnage, but it's all good. Deds is in. Good evening. Good evening. How are we? Right, let me scan up. Peter, hi, boss. Pete, I've already been talking about you today, mate. I've already been talking about you. All good. Right, let me scan down. Want to start the gym, but overwhelmed with the amount of influencers' plans. Don't know what to do. If you want to join the gym and you just want some basic plans to follow, just head over to my website. If you head over to my website, I've got loads of workouts on there and they're dead basic, they're dead simple. I know you say they're about all influencers' plans. Mine are dead basic, they're dead straightforward. You download it as a PDF, you can take it into the gym, and it's got some little video links in there of me doing the exercises. So if you're unsure what it is, you can click on it and then do the thing. You know, you can go and do the what's the word? Yeah, you can go and follow the workout and see exactly what I'm doing. Right, guys, 2 minutes and then I'm out of here. 9 o'clock, I'm going to bed because I'm tired tonight. I am tired tonight. So yes, 2 minutes and then I am off. Right, let me scan down, see if I missed anything, and I don't think I have. Anyway, let's go. Is it better to weigh raw or cooked food? Asking again in case not seeing. Always raw. Always weigh everything raw, unless it's pre-cooked like ham or something like that. But yeah, always weigh your food raw for accuracy. Who can't cook? It's so easy. To be honest with you, Stefan, something's only easy if you know how to do it. And I mean that sincerely. And I know for me, I love cooking. I find it very, very simple. But, at some point in time, I didn't know what 2 + 2 was, right? But now I think 2 + 2 is dead simple. But if I talk to a 3-year-old and go, do you know what 2 + 2 is? And I'm like, well, no. So something's only easy if you know what to do. If you've never tried to cook, you've never been brought up around cooking, for some people it is hard. Some people it is hard. So it would be naive of us to just think every single person on the planet can cook. Now, don't get me wrong, you can learn, you can put the effort in, but certain people can't, or they don't want to. Lunch prep, how much chicken should I use? 500-calorie lunch, confused, cook, raw weight. Well, about 200 grams of raw chicken, 200 grams of raw chicken is about 250 calories. So if you've got a 500-calorie lunch and you use 200 grams of raw chicken, and then you've got another 250 calories for whatever carbs or fats you're going to add to it and any sauces and things like that. When is the next challenge? It will be starting at the beginning of March. I'm going to try and get the details out this week. Right, that's me. Guys, I've got a little bit of work to do afterwards, so I'm out of here for tonight. Thank you very much for coming on, coming and saying hello. Thank you for all the questions. Thanks for all your questions and stuff like that. Really, really appreciate it. I've tried to answer. If I've not answered them, please don't be offended. I can only get through so many. I'll be back tomorrow. I will literally be back tomorrow in 11 and a half hours. 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning, just on TikTok. So, TikTok, thanks very much. I'm going to say goodnight. I will see you on, tomorrow morning on TikTok. It's the only live I'm doing tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. So, have a good evening, whatever you're doing. And to you lovely people on Facebook and YouTube, I'm back tomorrow at 8:30 a.m., but just on TikTok. So, I'll just do Facebook and YouTube Monday morning, Monday night, Thursday morning, Thursday evening. So I'll be back. If you only watch me on Facebook and YouTube, I'll be back for these lives. Unless you're on plan or in my community, I'll be back Thursday morning at 9:30 a.m. on Thursday. Have a great evening. And if I don't see you, if you're only following me on Facebook and YouTube, I'll see you